Good afternoon from the Timeless Travel Club, the family version for the next 2 episodes. I'm currently back home in California, doing yard work, pruning trees, clipping palm fronds, and it's a little breezy out today, so I apologize for the little furry kitty on my lapel on my t-shirt. So if you recall from the last video, Genaro was about to let us into this old structure which turned out to be the neighbor's house of my great-grandfather in Calvillo, Aguascalientes. As it turns out, it ended up being a 200-year-old storage unit, but it was still fun nonetheless. Having family along was very special because it allowed them to walk again in the footsteps of our ancestors, of our grandfather, our great-grandfather. And the city and state of Aguascalientes also provided a very safe place to visit for Gringos. My family, they're all Gringos.
So the man behind the bottle, his name is Rolando. Take it easy, take it easy. And in the bottle, is homemade mezcal. You're shaking the bottle. You're shaking the bottle.
I'm sorry. San Carlos, Tamaulipas.
It's from San Carlos, Tamaulipas. And it is the smokiest,
Mezcal artesanal.
most excelente mezcal I've ever had. But the key is we don't know what the weeds are inside.
No más de 4.
Oh, okay. 4 herbs.
Hey, porque...
My Gringo evaluation, my Gringo friendly evaluation. How does Aguascalientes score? So are you ready for that? Here we go. Number 1, bathrooms. As you remember, I had a hard time with this in Guadalajara. In Aguascalientes, it never presented itself. I never had the need to go while I was in public. But I really don't recall seeing very many sanitarios or baños públicos in Aguascalientes. So I really can't give an honest score. I'm going to throw in a 2.5 for public bathrooms. Transportation, I'm going to give transportation a 4. The place that we are at in Calvillo, for the most part, there are taxis everywhere. But if you are in Calvillo, make sure there's a center square where the church is, where the oldest church is. There's taxis there, but when you need it the most, they're all used up. So remember this, if you are in Calvillo, walk 2 blocks behind the old church, and they're lined up waiting for you. And they're the cheapest taxis, 15 pesos per ride, wherever you want to go. Next, Wi-Fi. My last video or my last evaluation was English TV, but that really depends on the hotel you're in. So it's really not a fair score towards the city. So I've changed this topic from English TV channels to Wi-Fi. Aguascalientes, I gave you a 2. Aguascalientes or the surrounding towns, Calvillo, wherever you went. For uploading for a vlogger, it was a 2, and that's generous. Cleanliness, I'm going to give Aguascalientes a 5. We did a lot of walking amongst the streets, around the churches, even outside of the tourist zones, and I never saw that was a problem. Safety, I had my family around, so I was always conscious. I was always asking them if they felt safe, and pretty much it was never an issue. They always felt safe. The comments were, I can't believe how honest these people were. I'm giving Aguascalientes numero 5, number 5 for safety. Prices, I'm giving Aguascalientes and the surrounding towns a 3.5. They had some good restaurants in town. The touristy areas, the prices got up a little high. Air quality, I'm giving Aguascalientes a 4. Again, we had that evening rain that kind of cleared the air. So, 4. Friendliness, helpfulness of locals, I give Aguascalientes a 4. If you're a tourist and you need help, you stop somebody, if they speak English, or if not, they're going to give it their best shot to try to help you out. Quality eateries. There are some good eat-ins in Aguascalientes. I think for the most part, my group was sampling the enchiladas and the mole, and I think there was only one average plate of mole in Aguascalientes. So we're giving you a 4 for eateries. And the last topic is things to do and see in Aguascalientes. If you've never traveled to Mexico, chances are you probably never even heard of Aguascalientes. I can tell you this, people are starting to discover Aguascalientes. If you're looking for a place to go that is extraordinary in Mexico for a short period of time, then you need to go to Aguascalientes and visit its San Marcos Fair during the months of May and the beginning of April. This is a national fair and it's internationally known. Look it up. If you've never heard of the San Marcos Fair, look it up. You would be pleasantly surprised. Now, the small town, 40 minutes outside of Aguascalientes, the town of Calvillo, where my grandparents, maybe 5 generations back, were born, it's known as a Pueblo Mágico. In other words, the Mexican government has saw fit to designate this little town as a place that is rich in culture, that is unique in its own special way. I believe there's over 100 in the country of Mexico, and Calvillo has made the list. I've been going maybe every 3, maybe every 4 years, and every time I go, there's a new great restaurant. The place is much more colorful than I remember it before, and it seems to be taking its title as Pueblo Mágico very serious. But more specifically, if you need to go to Calvillo in the state of Aguascalientes, they have their own special little fair, La Feria de Guayaba. I was there way back 20 years ago, and I need to go again. And this is where this little town comes to life. So what does Aguascalientes have to offer for gringos like me and you? Feria de San Marcos, Feria de Guayaba. You should know that my family always loves a good party, so while in Caldillo, we threw ourselves one. A special thanks goes out to Jose Luis and his wife Conchita for allowing us to use his cabin for our party, and also a special thanks to Aldwin, the co-owner of the Hotel La Gloria, for organizing the party for us. As always, thanks for watching, and please consider becoming a patron by using the link in the description below.
Aguascalientes!
¡Viva!
¡Viva! ¡Que su feria es un primo! ¡Sí, señor!
¡Bravo, bravo!
They're
Empezó la
good.
fiesta, ya llegó
They're
el mariachi y ya empezó la fiesta.